Hello everyone, and welcome back to Poképaint, the series where I draw Fakémon to inhabit my fan-made Pokémon region based on Florida, the Gladios region. Today, as expected, we're taking yet another leap into the gyms and gym leaders of the region with the Water-type gym. The Water gym for the region is based on the large military culture that can be found in Florida, specifically the Navy, and therefore each of the gym leaders' Pokémon will have some sort of warfare or weaponry inspiration, which actually ended up being a surprisingly easy theme to follow. Starting off, before we get into the gym leader and his team, we'll be drawing the two-stage Ace Pokémon. The concept of this Ace Pokémon here stems from the idea of a swordfish and taking the name of this creature to inspire a literal version of the design, by making it more of a sword than a fish. Doing a little research, I actually discovered that there is a type of freshwater fish found in Southeastern Asia called the knife fish, so I thought that having a knife fish Pokemon evolve into a swordfish Pokemon would be a great idea. Abstracting the general shape of a fish and stylizing some of its anatomical features to resemble the shape of a curved dagger was actually pretty easy, as the fins made a good crossguard shape and the handle and pommel made the tail. Even further, the gills were made to resemble the saw teeth that can be found on the backs of some types of hunting knives, and this addition served to make this Pokemon look just a bit more dangerous. The name Tangill combines gill, the front part of a fish's respiratory system, and tang, which not only is the part of the sword's blade that fits into the handle for structural stability, but also is the name of a type of tropical fish that can be found in the warm waters just south of Florida. Tangill, the blade fish Pokemon. One of the most common Pokemon to be found in the waters of Gladios, they can survive in both fresh and salt water. Their scales are made out of a material similar to steel, which inspired the invention of a sword-making material in an ancient civilization that didn't rust or corrode in water. They are extremely fast and attack their enemies with slashes from their razor-sharp dorsal ridge. This ridge poses an extreme hazard to fishermen, so protective gloves are a must in any Gladian native's fishing kit. The final form was based on a swordfish, and due to the first form resembling a curved knife with one cutting edge, I decided to continue that idea by making this form resemble curved single-edged swords like sabers and cutlasses. To more resemble a swordfish, the nose became the blade instead of the whole body, and the ventral fins became curved backwards towards the tail to resemble the curved handguard of dueling sabers, and the tail was curved on the end to resemble the decorative pommels that can be found on these types of swords. I gave it a sharper pupil and mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, which sort of resembles a false edge in silhouette, which is a part of some swords near the guard that is blunt a few inches before the cutting edge starts, so that the blade can be gripped safely by the wielder. The name Dorsaber is a combination of dorsal, the back fin of a fish that is made most famous by the fin that pokes out of the water when a shark swims up near the surface, and saber, a type of curved sword that saw use in the early 1500s all the way up to the early 1900s. The shiny of both Pokemon is based on how ancient swords were made from bronze, and the redder hue of the eye and body overall makes the Pokemon feel more dangerous. Dorsaber, the blade fish Pokemon, and the evolved form of Tangill. Dorsaber has a reputation for being one of the most formidable combatants to inhabit the waters around the Gladios region. They use the rocks on the seabed to sharpen their blade. The sharpness of this blade is unrivaled, even by man-made precision surgical instruments, and they can use it with great skill and precision in battle. Only the greatest fishermen in the world can reel in a Dorsaber without getting seriously injured, as their fight on the line is said to be unrivaled by all other Pokemon in the sea. Every year, fishermen gather off the southernmost point of Gladios for a competition to see who can bring in the longest and sharpest catch. I am super happy with the Tangill and Dorsaber line, and I know I say it all the time, but they're a close contender for my favorite Gladian Pokemon yet. You'll have to tell me what you think in the comments below, and if you like them enough to earn them a spot on your team. But now we must move on to the gym leader of the Water-type gym. Based on the Navy and naval officers, Gym Leader Finnius would take on a look that closely resembles Lieutenant Surge, not only being a military-inspired trainer, but also with Surge having the nickname the Lightning American. It makes sense that military trainers that are both from the Pokemon world's version of America would have similar uniforms. Finnius would be older and more grizzled, still coming off as confident like Surge, but not in a boisterous, arrogant warrior type way like Surge. Finnius would be more of a strategist type, since naval combat has a lot more to do with military strategy than hand-to-hand combat. As such, he would have a cunning and severe disposition, and I imagine that the officers under his command would respect him for his strength, but also fear him a bit. I usually don't talk about the Pokemon that the leader will use on their team before I reveal their movesets. However, I did want to highlight each individual member's relationship with military weaponry. Dorsaber is of course based on a sword, while Octillery is a reference to tanks and cannons. Dreadnought is a reference to the Dreadnought class battleship, and Disquill, this region's new evolution of Quillfish, is based on undersea mines. Like I said in past videos, I wanted each of these gym leaders to have their own unique way to carry their Pokeballs, and I decided that a cool idea would be that Finnius would use a strap system similar to pectoral holsters for sidearms and ammunition. So here is Finnius, the 5th and water-type gym leader of the Gladios region, and I think he makes an excellent addition to this set of Pokemon trainers. Moving on to the final chapter of the video and fleshing out the mechanics of this Pokemon gym, we left off last time in Tropo Town. After defeating Gym Leader Palmyra and earning the Palm Skirt badge, retrace your steps along the biking bridge out to Route 5 and traverse through the glades. An open swamp that acts like a hybrid between the Safari Zone and the wild area, it most resembles the Great Marsh from the Gen 4 game. Traversing through that area, you would then arrive in Forsea Town. Here you find the 5th gym for your quest by the docks. Inside, the puzzle is similar to the Mistralton City gym from the Black and White games, but in this case you must use the cannons of the 2 massive war vessels docked inside the gym to launch yourself strategically across several deep moats of water. The trainers here use the Pokemon Tangill, Basculin, Quillfish, Open Sea Form Gastrodon, Gladian Dreadnought, Golisopod, Mohisson, Crackalite, and possibly the as of yet unrevealed pseudo-legendary Pokemon. That might be a little hint into where I'm going with that in the future. Should you defeat the gym trainers and solve the puzzle, you will come to Gym Leader Finnius, and the battle can begin. On his normal mode team, he starts off with a level 35 Tangill with the ability Battle Armor to protect against critical hits, and the moves Aqua Jet for priority and stab, Slash, Swords Dance to raise attack, and Smart Strike for Steel Stab. Next is his Octillery at level 37 with the ability Sniper and the move Octazooka for stab, Gunk Shot to inflict poison damage, Wrap to keep you trapped on the field, and Flash Cannon for move diversity. Second to last is Dreadnought at level 38 with the moves Jaw Lock, which Gladian Dreadnought learns 4 levels earlier than its Galarian counterpart, Liquidation for stab, protect, and Super Fang for a nasty opener to take out half of your health. The final and ace Pokemon of the team is Dorsaber at level 40 with the ability Battle Armor and a Citrus Berry. Its moves consist of Iron Head for powerful Steel Stab, Liquidation for Water Stab, Swords Dance to raise attack, and Aqua Jet for priority. In challenge mode, the levels are raised slightly, and Finnius switches out his lead Tangill with a level 38 Disquill. It has the ability Diffuse to keep it alive through its own self-destruction moves, and the moveset Self-Destruct, Toxic Spikes for setup, Liquidation for stab, and Spike Cannon. Octillery remains the same with a 2-level increase. Dreadnought gets an additional level, and Liquidation is replaced with Muddy Water to do the same damage and bring down your accuracy, and Ice Fang that replaces Super Fang, giving up the strong opener to gain a chance to freeze you. And finally, Dorsaber's challenge mode set gets a 2-level increase, and Liquidation and Aqua Jet are replaced with Surf and Dive respectively. If you can win the battle against Finnius and his artillery of powerful water-type Pokemon, you will have earned the Surf TM, which will unlock some inaccessible sections of the late game, and the Maritime badge. We are well on the way to the final Gladiocene gym leaders, but I think next time we will take a break from the gym leaders proper and touch on some other aspects of the region. Maybe I'll design some more important Pokemon, like the pseudo-legendary or the mythicals of the region, or maybe I'll touch on some of the less predictable, but still just as interesting types of Pokemon. In the meantime, thank you all for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons STE, Alan Michael White, Vex, and R.O. Bolt for your continued support. And if you want to join them in their support of PokePaint and the other projects like it on the channel by getting cool perks like early access to these videos as soon as they are done, then you can do so by following the link in the description below. Until next time though, that'll do it. Thank you all again for watching. If you liked this video, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more like it, then subscribe and turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next.